You haven't done it.
Welcome to the Security Guard Show with Shep and Pitt, where we share stories about our experiences in the security industry and provide tips that might help you in your career as a security professional. This show is sponsored by Enterprise Security Consulting and Training Incorporated. And now, let's start the show. Hey, welcome to the Security Guard Show with Shep and Pitt, and I am Shep.
And I'm Pitt.
And that is Pitt over on the other side. Let's put our graphic up. And the show is sponsored by Enterprise Security Consulting and Training Incorporated, located at 875 East Main Street, Suite 500 in the city of Rochester. And Pitt has the patch, the ESCT patch, up in the air. As it should always be. We should always be flying our flag. So, want to welcome you to the Security Guard Show. Today's show is episode 13, and we are going to be talking something a little bit about women in security. We want to make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Make sure you check it out on YouTube. You can make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you like and share on Facebook, and we would greatly appreciate it. Want to shout out all those great women who are working in the security industry. And Pitt, it was your idea to talk about women in security this evening, so let's talk about a little bit, give you insight.
What made me think about it was I worked an event downstate with another security company. They needed help. They asked me to come down and work. And I actually worked with, there's people I've worked with that I respect, but I worked with one of their supervisors that was actually a female, and you don't see a lot of women in those type of roles in events like that, where you got, a limited amount of guards and 5, 6, 7, 8,000 people, and actually being able to not only hold their own, but command respect from men and to do the job. So I was really impressed with her, and then I was thinking about it, and it made me think about, wanting to talk to the show and hopefully reach some females out there that are thinking about doing security and, maybe but just kind of intimidated by the fact that it's kind of a male-dominated industry.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a male-dominated industry. But one of the things I would say is that there are a lot of women, who are really plowing the way. I know even right here in this city, there is a woman-owned security company, and they're doing very well. Yeah, they're doing very well. I'm not gonna mention them on our time.
I mean, we got our own strong woman.
We got a couple. We got a few. But no, this woman actually owns a company. So I'll just put it out there. AP Safety and Security is a woman-owned company.
Always?
It wasn't always, but it was. Now I won't say within the last 10 years. I would say it's been owned by a woman. It was originally founded by Ange Picardo, AP, and he was a former RPD officer, I believe, and he started APSNS, and then I guess he had an exit plan, and he sold the business to he exited, right? He sold the business. And they've been flourishing, But I think that it's important to make folks understand that, even though security is seemingly a male-dominated industry, there are a lot of women out here who are paving their way. They're plowing. They're doing their thing.
And that's because I remember way back in the day, you really didn't have many women doing security. Back in the old club days, you had, one or two that would check your bathrooms and pat down the females. But none out doing it.
I don't know about that, Pitt. I think in my experience, because
none.
Well, you know, at the War Memorial, we had a number of women, and I mean, and they wasn't nothing to shake your finger at either. I mean, but
War Memorial is a little different.
But you're talking one genre of security. Maybe in the nightclub scene, and I could possibly agree with you on that. But in general security, I ran across a lot of women working security.
I see like outside events where there's just over drinking and all the rest of that. To me, it's just like working in a club. It's just outdoors. I
go back. So I'll take you back to Darien Lake when I was out there. Before Live Nation took over, it was Metropolitan Entertainment, and there were a number of women who worked out there, you know, and we're talking early to mid 90s, you know. So I mean, in my experience, I've come across a lot of women working in security. When you brought the topic up, there were two people I thought of immediately. Well, one is my wife, who works in the security industry in a different fashion, and then three people, and I thought of I can't think of her first name at the moment. It's gonna come to me, but Carol Chapman and the young lady, Phyllis Conyer. I couldn't think of her name. And Phyllis and I were friends for a long time. Now, those are two women, you know, I worked with for a long time. And when I talk about, you know, tough women, you know what I mean? They were out there and they weren't timid, you know, and they weren't afraid to walk up to the biggest guy and say, you need to put out that cigarette or that marijuana or whatever.
That's more prevalent now. Back in the days.
No, that's your experience. I'm telling you.
You didn't have a lot of girls like that. You had some. I'm just saying there are more now than there used to be back in the day, and I'm happy to see it.
Well, yeah, I think more women are coming into the industry, but I'm just saying that there were a number way back when. I go back to even Shelly Harris, Michelle Harris. I shouldn't have called you Shelly. I'm sorry, Michelle Harris, my girl, another one who was doing her thing back in the War Memorial days.
Am I looking like sideways at you?
I don't know.
Because this is kind of blocking your face a little.
Oh, well, you just look at the camera. You don't have to look at me directly. You can look at the camera.
Well, if I'm talking to you, I need to, that's why I'm...
Oh, okay. Well,
okay, that's fine. No.
But no, what I'm saying is that there are a lot of women that I've come across. And even when I was working, you know, contract security, there were women who were working I used to work at Coca-Cola back in the day. And working in the little guard booth, and that we had some women that were working that, you know, that contract with us, and there was others, but you know what I will say is that right now in this particular season, women who are experienced, who have a head on their shoulders, and that's not to disparage anybody. I don't want anybody to say, because I know some men who don't have their head on their shoulders, but women who are driven can really almost literally write their own ticket right about now.
Yep. When
it comes to working in the security industry. You just got to know what you want to do. Being able to strike out and either start a company or get in a company and work your way up. This is the season now, really, for women. We have a young lady who works for us, Miss Shauna. Miss Shauna is, and we talked about her, I think, on the last show. Mm-hmm. Miss Shauna is like tops, and if she sticks in this industry for any period of time, she will go places. She will go far. Plus, we're pushing her. We're pushing her. You know, we're training and pushing her to that next level, and because she's driven. You know, and that's for any person. We would push and help anybody in our company get to that next level. But right now, as we talk about women, I think, as I said, I think about my wife, you know, who works in security. She works in law enforcement security, and you know, and she's been doing it for years.
trying to get my daughter to start doing this more, because before she became the EMT, she was working a lot of events and she commanded respect from people. But she was working security before she was old enough to, because Dad was doing.
I wonder why.
But yeah, she's like that.
Well, you know, I got a daughter now who works in the security industry also, almost in a law enforcement type role. My daughter Vanessa is. I think you've met Vanessa before, but you know she was a little something then. But she's grown up now and she's working. She's working at the Children's Detention Center. Oh, wow. And scared the heck out of me when she told me she got the job out there, because it was right after they had that big melee a couple months ago.
Why is she with us?
I'm sorry?
Why is she with us?
That's a whole other issue. But anyway, but she's doing her thing out there, and you know I was concerned because I'm like, wait a minute.
It takes a lot to work in that environment.
It does, and I'm thinking, you know, they just had a major incident out there, and a deputy got hurt.
Yeah, a bunch of people got hurt.
You know, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I want my daughter in that situation. So here's what my son I was telling my son about it, and he says, well, Dad, remember who she grew up in the house with? She grew up with 3 brothers in the house. And if she could put up with what we put her through, believe me, she okay. And I'm like, oh, that's wow. I guess that is a good point. What y'all do to my baby? You know, so, you know, right now, as I said before, women are in a position where they can really plot a path in the profession. You know,
if you see it, think it, you can do
it. Exactly, and I say this to anybody, male, female, black, white, doesn't matter. If you are driven, if you are goal oriented, if you have an idea, at least an idea of what you want to do, you can make it happen. You know, and we're doing that even right here at ESCT.
We are growing.
We are growing, and we're hiring.
Yeah, we're definitely hiring.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put this out there. This is well, I can always plug us because it's our show. But anyway, we're hiring for event staff right now, per diem event staff. And if you are a registered security guard, we could use your services. Now, I'm gonna tell you, you can't be just a body that breathes. We have certain expectations, and we're going to be looking for you to fulfill those expectations. But if you are interested in making some extra money, why don't you come along and jump on board with us? Make sure you email us at admin, ADMIN, at ESCTROC.com, and you know we'll be glad to have a conversation with you. Or you can inbox me here directly on Facebook. But we will be glad to have a conversation with you. We got events coming up like immediately.
You can text me 415-3061, area code 585.
All right, you heard
That's easier.
You heard it directly from Pitt.
Yeah, it's been the same number since '96, so it's out there.
All right. So you know, give us a call. Send us an email. We will be interested in having you working with us. I like to think we pay pretty good. And we're a pretty good company to work for, if I must say so myself, and I will.
I would have to agree.
So I mean, we've got events popping up like out of nowhere. I mean, just stuff that's really falling into our lap, and we're doing a whole lot of other stuff. So just to tell you a little bit about Enterprise Security Consulting and Training, we do investigations. We are a New York State licensed private investigator. We perform investigations, we do consulting, we provide security patrol services, and we conduct training. So, and we just not security guard training, we're doing other stuff such as CPR, first aid, AED, that stuff. So make sure you check us out. Go check out our website at www.esctroc.com.
We try really hard to not make this the same old thing that people are used to, with the same old cliche type of attitude towards employees, you know, where you're just a person and a body to make funds for the company. We try to keep it family oriented, family feel.
I would agree with that. It's important that we see about one another, because you never know who you're going to need in this world. And if you can't count on the people that you work with every day, that's a problem.
Shout out to Matthew Stone. Glad you're feeling a little better.
Oh yeah, hey man. I talked to Matt. I talked to him yesterday.
I texted him today.
Okay, and he's on his way back. And
I'll point this out. We had an employee that he had some issues. Shep called him yesterday. I had no idea that he called him. And I was going through my phone and I saw his name. I said, let me check on him and see how he's doing.
Right.
But that's just funny that you talked to him yesterday.
Yep.
And I texted him today. I hope he doesn't think that because you did.
Right. No,
I just saw his name and I thought about him and texted him.
So, I mean, that's what we do. We try to take care of our staff. So today's show is a little late because it's my fault this time.
Not me.
It's not Pitt. It's my fault. I was down in Elmira, Horseheads, all day with our other company, live streaming horse racing.
I was actually here earlier than 7 doing an interview.
He was.
Hired somebody.
He was. Yes, he did.
Per diem and event staff.
And so, and I was thinking about that. I said, Pitt is actually doing the administrative function. And I think I'm going to leave that to you a little bit more.
That's fine.
But, that's good. We got this new young lady coming on board with us. She'll be per diem for a while. And maybe she might decide she want to do something else with us, But, we are really growing. And the women that are coming on board with us are excited to be with us.
I mean, like not only that, they're just not warm bodies. They're functional, they're intelligent, and they're hungry. Everything you want someone to be.
Yeah.
We have no mouses, no hicks.
Right.
We don't have any hicks.
No hicks.
Only you older people will get that. We don't have any hicks.
Well, somebody's gonna get tired of me talking about Miss Shauna. I was telling her last night about some of the things that we got coming up, and I was like, I'm hoping you want to get in somewhere. She was like, look, yeah, this is my company too. Right. I'm trying to learn all I can, and that's that kind of drive that we're looking for. So even when we let people know what type of company we are, that just her demeanor lets you know what type of company we are.
Right.
That's the type of person that we're looking for, and that's what any company should be looking for. Somebody who wants to take some sort of ownership. The
best employees do.
Exactly.
Employees do.
And so we're doing pretty good. I'd say. I want to segue into a little bit of another topic. I know we were talking about women in security, but I want to talk a little bit about billing practices. Like, a lot of folks don't understand, what it takes. Like, well, I don't even not billing. I'm talking about sales. My bad. A lot of people don't understand what it takes to get a contract, right? So
a legit contract.
And what's a legit contract? A definition of a legit contract is a contract, whether it be in writing or in verbal, but it's an understanding between two entities that something is going to happen. Okay, in order for a organization to have a legitimate contract with a security company, the security company has to first be legitimate, and that's all I'm going to say on that, because I always harp on that. But how to go out and get that sale? I know that some folks say, well, I just walk in and say, hey, can you you need security? Well, you could do that, but you got to have a sales pitch, and that's one of the things that I have been developing over the past several months, and it's really working, right? Now, first you got to be able to generate leads. You gotta generate leads. But in some cases, you may not have any leads, so you have to go and just knock on doors, right? You can't just you can't open up a shop and then say, people come on in. You got to go and get them and convince them where they are that they need to come to where you are. And I think that's one of the things that I'm learning how to excel better in.
In some cases, people don't even know they need security.
Exactly. They don't even know. And it's not even just security. So I was talking to a friend of mine on the way back from Horseheads. I hate that. I shouldn't say I hate. I just that name is so.
It's funny.
It's a funny name, Horseheads. And I expect to see, when I go down in that area, I expect to see some sort of billboard with horse heads. You know what I mean? I don't know. But anyway, I was saying sometimes you have to go and you have to an organization and create a job position for yourself. And I've done that in security. Excuse me. I went to a charter school, and I said, you folks could use me. Basically, that's legitimately what I said. And he said, well, what do you do? I said, I'm in the security industry, and I've watched some of the comings and goings here, and I think you folks could really use me in my services. And then they hired me, as a security manager. I mean, I made my position on the spot. Sometimes that's what you got to do.
I did that with Costco because, Costco does receipts at the door, and I said, where you are and the kind of people you're going to get, you're going to need somebody inside the store. They said, well, we'll stick with, what we do at the door. Opening day, they lost like $3,500 worth of stuff from people taking it. They called me, they're like, well, can you come in early? This is what we need you to do. Exactly what you said you were going to do.
Right.
And then the first 4 years they were open, I was walking around the floor, looking for people shoplifting. And they weren't, that wasn't even on their radar to have that. Mm-hmm. But for this area and the type of people you get, this is the type of security you need.
Right. So, yeah, you have to go knock on those doors, and you have to talk to people, and you also have to know your worth. What's the value of your service? And some people, they may say my service is worth $10 an hour, and other folks may say my service is worth $15 an hour. But you have to determine what your worth is, and then show them why you're worth that. And so, I just want to hit that out there, because I know I do get asked occasionally, how do you find contracts? How do you how are you able to generate leads, things like that? And I'm just going to tell you, for me, it has totally been trial and error. I've gone through services. I've tried to bring somebody in to generate sales and things like that, and I've just found that it's me. And some the people that we have taken on as clients, they were able to jive with my personality, I'll say.
So, which brings up another statement. We are looking for somebody that can do sales.
Yes.
That can generate sales, which means go out and drum up business.
Yeah.
Because we have other things to do, and when we get freed up from getting business, it allows us to manage things.
Yeah, definitely. So if you're a salesperson, if you have the gift of gab, if you don't mind talking with people, I'll show you how to sell it.
You can sell water to a fish,
again, this is the Security Guard Show. Make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube, and make sure you like and share on Facebook with anyone you may know who's in the security industry or wants to be in the security industry. I got to say this, coming up this Saturday
we have a class.
This Saturday, we have an 8-hour pre-assignment course, and this is the class that you need in order to get started in the industry. So you may want to go ahead and get signed up and get into this class. All you got to do is go to our website at www.esctroc.com. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now, and you can get more information about that class, and you can sign up online, everything. I mean, we try to make it as easy as possible. Now, you know what, Pitt? We haven't done it yet, and I guess we got to do it.
We got to do it.
I'm not going to do it today, though.
When you going next week?
We're
actually overdue.
We're overdue. It was supposed to be in July.
Right.
And folks are wondering, what are they talking about? If you have been watching our show, if you have been following our show.
But you know what? We ain't going to tell them. Go back and look. Those that have been watching, know. So those that haven't been, you got to go back and look. I can't tell you the exact show, but we mentioned it between show 5 and 8 a lot.
Yeah, we did. We did.
You know, go do some homework.
But what we're going to do, I'm not going to give you the trivia. I think I got to give them the trivia.
No. It's it.
Okay, yeah. So you got to go back and watch the other shows. But what we're going to do is we're going to pay for someone's training.
Hey, Buggin.
We're going to... You can't do that in the middle of a show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He just stops and starts talking to people who walking in the room.
Well, I mean,
and I'm not going to say people,
she's
but...
a boss, too. So.
But she know what this is.
Yeah, but...
Who office we in?
I was saying hi to a boss.
Who office we in?
Your office.
Okay. What'd that make
and
me?
Who is she? But she's still one of my bosses.
Okay. All right. Anyway. You go. What? I know she didn't just say, and you just walked in front of the camera.
I didn't need to.
Well, you told her to come over there.
You sure
But you could have walked over this way. You know, and that's why they can't see you now.
I know. But...
Anyway, so we're going to pay for someone's training. We're going to pay for their fingerprints, and we're going to pay for their registration fee.
The whole shebang.
The whole
so
shebang.
You can become a registered security guard.
And you know what? We can give them a job. I can promise that one.
You sure can.
We're going to give you a job. Now, I ain't going to tell you you're going to be working 40 hours a week, but I'm going to give you a job.
So,
how's that?
Guaranteed part-time employment.
Guaranteed. So what you have to do is you have to go back in those shows, find out the trivia.
And the answer.
Because
it's in the show.
Because it's in the show. And then you got to email it to us at admin@esctroc.com. What are you doing? You're making a lot of noise over here. Give me that. You can't write on this. What are you doing? Okay. So she's telling me, go ahead and do the show.
Go ahead and do the show.
I mean, she over here, making all this noise and being a distraction and all this stuff. I'm trying to work. And anyway, so make sure you go back to our old shows, but some of our past shows, earlier shows, and get that information because we want to help somebody. I like that. We want to help somebody. I don't know why my camera is blurry right now, but I don't know. Maybe I'm too close. I don't know what happened. But anyway, my camera's blurry.
Assuming that I'm not?
No, you're not blurry. So we're coming up on like almost 30 minutes. We are, I mean, time has gone by quick. But on the topic, I do want to say, women, this is your time. This is your season in this industry. Go ahead, get all that you can, and win, because you can. It's that simple. You can win.
I guess another thing I'd say is guys are starting to rely more on women in the security.
What do you mean?
Field. To have their back in situations of aggression.
Well, I think guys are looking for anybody to have their back.
Yeah, but I think now more guys are looking or not distinguishing between the two. Well, I know he's got my back.
Right. Oh yeah. So now that was a thing, because in some places.
Maybe that's kind of what I was saying.
Okay.
Now it's to the point where the field is level, and I know I can count on women that I work with, just I can count on guys that I work with.
I will agree with that but then I hate to be partial. I don't want to be partial because I know I've been in some situations there were some guys I looked at, seen them coming, I was like, oh snap. You know,
there are some guys out there.
Oh my God, do I want to work with this individual? Do I really want to work with this individual? I don't think I've ever had a situation where I was concerned so much because of a person's gender.
I mean, I'll be honest. I have been, but you know, I've learned that there are some women out there that can handle themselves. Like Darien Lake, for instance, they don't let girls on the lawn because of how aggressive the lawn is. But if I find that you know, as I'm walking around as a supervisor, if a girl wants to go on the lawn, I'll take her on the lawn with me.
Right.
You know, because I've gotten to the point where I know that they can handle their business if we need to do something. So kudos to you ladies that are making headway in this business.
Right, definitely. There are, as I've said, there's so many women that are doing big things in security. You can be one. All you gotta do is step up.
We'll help.
And we'll help. We'll help. I believe in pushing anybody who's ready to make that next move. So reach out to us. Let us know. You know, inbox. I'm ready. Type in the comments. I'm ready. Yep. You know what I mean? And we'll do what we can to help you out. So we coming to that point where we have to close the show. We're over our 30 minutes. But we want to thank you for taking time out of your evening to join us, to listen to us talk a little bit about our experiences in this industry. And make sure you check us out at www.esctroc.com. Don't forget, we have a class coming up this Saturday from 9 o'clock a.m. to 5:30 p.m. It's the 8-hour pre-assignment training course for security guards. And this is the class that you need if you want to be in the security industry.
I think we can legitimately say with this show it will be 45 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Because it's seeming like it's ending up between 30 and 45. So 45
and it depends on the topic.
Yeah.
You know. And so, and what I like most is that it's our platform. So we can change up.
We control the vertical, we control the horizontal.
Exactly. And so here we are. Honey, did you have something you wanted to say?
No. Great topic.
Oh, okay.
I mean, did you want me to sit down?
Can you want to show the people you? So, ladies and gentlemen.
Come right over here.
You sure?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by the queen of ESCT. And you could at least look like you're happy to be in the room.
Oh, I am. Just read the note.
I see the note.
Okay.
But folks don't even know about that. You've been in security for how long?
22 years.
22 years.
Mm-hmm.
In your 22 years, have you come across folks who did not believe in your skills because you are a woman? I'm not asking you to be specific because I know there's certain things you can and can't talk about. Okay. But have you seen that
changed?
Has that changed any?
It's changed a lot, but there's still some people who believe that women should not be in security.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I would agree that there's people who have there are people who don't believe in women preachers. So I know they don't believe in women security guards. Mm-hmm. So But you've been able to persevere for 20-some years. How did you do it?
The grace of God and just looking at it as a part of my life and what I do.
What's it like to know that you are in a position to blaze a trail for other folks?
Other folks or other women?
Other women.
I've never looked at it in that way. I guess because every day I just do my job. So, but you know, there are people who might come across me and say, you know, when I grow up, I want to be like you, or I want to be in the profession, you know.
So what would you say to somebody who wants to come into work in security?
Know what you're getting into. Wherever it be, law enforcement, security, because although it's all synced into one, they're very different. You know, you have to know your job. You have to know what's expected of you. You have to know, you have to have knowledge of each job. You know, as a security guard, you have to know what you can and cannot do. Law enforcement, you have to know what you can and cannot do.
So, have you you ever? No, I'm gonna ask you that question. I gotta rethink because I was gonna ask you something. I thought about it, but I asked you that question. But what's the best way? What do you say to someone who comes onto the job, male or female?
Security.
Security.
Mm-hmm.
And they have fear about what they're getting into.
Good question.
Knowing what is expected of you, and actually maybe asking for a tour, shadowing someone in security. One of the sites, you know, if we're at the hotel, you might want to shadow Pitt or someone who's working there to see what it's all about.
Right.
And if you see that that's going to be something that you don't think you could handle, I would suggest not getting into it, because your partner, whoever you work with, relies on you for their safety. Vice versa, you rely on them for their safety. So that's very important. Like I said earlier, knowing what your job expects of you, and if you know you can't deal with it, I would suggest not getting into it.
Mm-hmm. So that is good. Sometimes, I mean, it's
people have walked that tour at the hotel and been like,
nah, this ain't for me.
This ain't
And so, you know, so I can say this. You started out in security in corrections,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were at the state level. I mean, are there a lot of women at the state level in corrections?
Yes.
And how successful are they? Only guarding women, or are they guarding men and women?
Men and women.
And how does that work? Tell me what that's like.
I mean,
because I know you. You know, I do. We talk. I like you pretty good. So, why you look at me like that?
I'm trying to stay on the security aspect
Okay.
versus.
All right.
You know.
But anyway, I like you really good. And so I know you. But what's it like for a female in that environment to have to be guarding a male or males? How do you is there butterflies when you go to work in the morning? What's that like?
From a security aspect,
Yeah.
Being a security guard.
From in state corrections.
Okay, state corrections.
Yeah.
In state corrections, there are no pink and blue badges.
Oh, I like that. That was good.
Okay.
That
All
was
right.
good.
All right.
Everybody has a blue badge.
Everybody has a blue badge.
In corrections.
In corrections.
We're talking about corrections.
Yeah, yeah.
Seal, New York State.
Okay. All right. So, all right.
That was rooted to the tutor right there. Ain't no pink and blue.
Pick a blue badges. It's all one color.
There's no pink and blue badges.
Okay. All right. So we talked about women entering into this industry. What best advice can you give to someone, again, male or female, to last as long as you have?
To be familiar with the legal laws now, because nowadays everything's different. You have to be very careful how you move if you're dealing with the opposite sex, because it becomes a liability if you decide you want to. Let's say Pitt's a male security guard, and he runs into a situation with a female. He has to be mindful, what he's getting into, because it can become a liability. And ultimately a lawsuit because she's a female. So
Yeah.
we have to be, knowledgeable in that area.
What about?
I want to add to that.
Go ahead. They can't see you.
Yeah,
You're
you
not
can
on
hear
camera.
me though.
You wanna?
Longevity in this business is realizing that there is an ebb and flow to it, and it is always fluctuating, and you're going to have to move with the fluctuations.
You should probably come and sit next to me so people can actually see what you're saying, see you as you're talking. You're gonna get close to me. This was supposed to be where she was sitting, but All right.
Yeah, so there's an ebb and a flow to doing security. It's always changing, it's always fluctuating, and longevity dictates that you try and interpret how it changes and how it moves and be willing to. If you're not willing to, then eventually it'll run you over. You'll get in a situation where you won't be able to handle, or you get yourself in trouble because it's not straightforward sometimes, and it's not black and white sometimes. It's black, white, and gray, and you have to know how to move. If you don't know how to move, like I said, it will run you over.
So, Lakeisha, my sweetheart, my honey, last words before we get ready to get out of here, because we've been on now for 40 minutes. Last words. Don't take too long. Don't think too long.
Question for the last word?
No, what's the last words?
Well, if you're looking for a security position, security officer, come join our team. We're hiring. We're definitely hiring. If you're motivated and you want to do something in the security field, come join our team. See what it's all about.
What's the name of our team?
ESCT, Enterprise Security Consulting and Training, Inc.
Ink. Don't forget to put the ink on it. It's the ink. It's the ink. All right. So with that, we're going to get ready to get out of here. And I will say until the next time, you be blessed.
And be safe.
Take care. God bless you.